you. It's a brand new week. A lot is happening, and of course, we're here to bring you up to speed with everything taking center stage in the country and, of course, regionally as well. 328 days into the year, we have about 37 days until we call it a wrap, 2025. Divan is joining me today. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Unasikiaje?
Today, feeling a bit crappy. Yeah. Talking a bit nasally. So if I sound like a jungo, don't worry. Yeah.
The thing is, we're up and early.
Yes, up and early, and I'm glad to be joining you, just sitting in for Fred Ndimuli, who's taking a short break this morning, but I'm glad that, trusting that you slept easy, you've woken up well, and yes, you're ready for a good day. Indeed, you know, time is really ticking by.
Yes.
And in a few days, I'll be saying, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
That's how we like it.
Yeah, we should.
I
think you know, you just started, warming up to the season as it is right now. Yeah, yes. We should be decking out also the studio with all the Christmas paraphernalia.
Yeah. You want to sing for us? Christmas.
I wish I could, but now I'm telling you, I'm feeling rough. My voice is a bit raspy.
We will understand. It's World Conjoined Twins Day, and this day basically offers a chance to raise awareness, encourage compassion, and learn more about the lives of those born conjoined. So let's take a look at the local dailies, and we start off with gazeti La Taifa leo. It says, ni kampeni za risasi na marungu. Tutakueleza zaidi.
Yes, and this is what the Daily Nation has for us. How by-elections will change Ruto's rivals' 2027 plans.
The standard license to extort wameenda very different.
And People Daily, is ODM now part of Ruto's failure? A probing question there on the front page of the People Daily. Business
Daily, Trump X's 7 billion shillings road deal signed by Ruto and Biden.
Ouch, that's the Business Daily. The Star, close to 30 billion shillings lost in state plan to uplift youth and women. This story is on page 4 and 5.
Absolutely. So we'll be back to take a look at the local dailies. Lakini kwanza.
And this is State of a Nation, and of course we'll be having our regulars there. The panelist on Monday, Kipruto Rapkirwa, was a former Agriculture Cabinet Secretary. Also Kathy Irungo, Governor's expert. Samuel Pogisio, former Cabinet Minister, ICT. We shall be delving into matters politics, knowing that, of course, right now, today marks the final campaign day for the by-elections.
On Thursday?
Yes, for Thursday.
Good. Being a Monday Blitz will be joining us later on from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. That is Fred Arocho, Katele Macy, and Duncan Mutua will be here. But let's cross over our borders. We start off in Uganda. This is the New Vision. Tororo gets 1.8 trillion shillings steel mill. This is Ugandan money. And they say, we're mentioned up there, Kenya's Ruto clarifies on Indian Ocean. So this story is on page 3. President Ruto spoke about it. Remember, Museveni had said he's entitled to accessing, the Indian Ocean. So this story has been covered extensively by the New Vision on page 3. Other quick headlines. Campaign still ongoing ahead of January 2026 election. Chagulanyi to change anti-smuggling policy. Mafabi asks Bagisu to grow more coffee. Campaign on page 8. Thousands turn up. Another forum here. Murdered in Tebe, couple to be buried in Switzerland. And that's basically, that's all in the front page of the New Vision. Still in Uganda.
Yes, the Telemonitor is up, and Museveni, Ruto's concrete diplomacy. Goodies, Kenya's President William Ruto uses groundbreaking event for Defki mega steel project in Tororo to assure President Museveni and Ugandans that they will benefit from the pipeline, standard gauge railway, and dualling of Nairobi-Mombasa road projects and access to the sea. This story is on page 2 and 3 of the Daily Monitor, and you can see a related picture there, them flagging off that particular, the construction of a Defki steel factory in Tororo district yesterday. The project is set to create more than 15,000 jobs for both countries.
Interesting.
Right, still there, we have the hurdle standing in Mpuga Way to 4th term. And DNA test results for Naivasha, or did I say Naivasha? that's Nalia SS dead students released. But also Ugandans, time back, they were really claiming a bit of Naivasha. The saying is there, if you may remember.
Naivasha too?
Idi Amin as well. Yeah. So it's not just Migingo and Indian Ocean, a slice of Naivasha as well, saying it's part of Uganda.
They want Kenya.
Inch by inch, they always say everything is a cinch. So that's how you gain your territory. Put a foothold. That's the Daily Monitor.
All right, let's cross over to Tanzania. We start off with Mwananchi. Msigwa waliopoteza ndugu waende polisi. Vurugu za Oktoba tarehe 29. Anasema idadi kamili ya waliokufa, kujeruhiwa bado. Agusia agiza la Rais Samia kuachiwa vijana waliofuata mkumbo, akieleza taratibu za kuachia zinaendelea. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 4 wa gazeti hili. Tabasamu la salamu ni habari nyingine. Picha zikimwonyesha mwenyekiti mstaafu wa Chadema Freeman Mbowe akisalimiana na kukumbatiana na mjumbe wa kamati kuu wa chama hicho Godbless Lema baada ya kukutana kwenye sherehe ya kumuunga mtoto wa rafiki yao ilifanyika mkoani Kilimanjaro hapo jana. Picha hii hapa. Vidokezo zaidi: usichukulie poa maumivu ya kichwa, wataalamu watoa tahadhari. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 6, na wanasema sababu za kuumwa kichwa zipo za kimazingira au kimwili, lakini kuumwa mara kwa mara kama kipanda uso kunaashiria tatizo kwenye ubongo. Now don't ignore that. Ukiumwa na kichwa kidogo, inaitwa aje, medical attention is advised.
Of course, they always say pain is a gift. So it is there to warn you that something somewhere is not really proper. So do not undermine it or just slit it away.
Vigogo ACT wajifungia kujadili SUK kule Zanzibar. Hiyo ni habari katika ukurasa wa 2. Na kule juu, wajitosa kupinga ubunge wa Baba Levo kotini. Wapiga kura 4 wa jimbo la Kigoma mjini wamefungua shauri la uchaguzi wakipinga ushindi wa mbunge wa jimbo la CCM. Jimbo hilo ni wa CCM, anaitwa Clayton Chipando. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 3. Hii ni gazeti la Mwananchi. The Citizen, still in Tanzania?
Yes, still in Tanzania. Tanzania to self-finance major projects amid donor concerns. Msigwa assured the public yesterday that all flagship Tanzanian development projects will continue as planned despite concerns raised by some development partners following the election-related unrest. 40 trillion shillings approved in June. Tanzania's 56.49 trillion shillings budget for 2025-2026 shows a strong reliance on internal funding. The majority, 40.47 trillion shillings, is expected from domestic revenue. The remaining funds will be covered by domestic and external loans. Tanzania's strong donor trust, and you can see some of the projects there. That is a standard gauge railway as well. And Bank of Tanzania reassures market as appetite for government securities hits record high. The Bank of Tanzania has downplayed fears that soaring demand for government securities is crowding out private sector credits. That story is well fleshed out for you on page 8 of the publication today. And looking at the flagger on top there, not really the flagger, but the teaser, ACT was a Lendo leaders retreat to deliberate on GNU post-election tensions. This is on page 3 of The Citizen. Remember also you have your study today is all matters health, how Africa's lack of toilets puts road safety at risk.
That is new.
Right, in this epic of time we're still talking about toilets, flying toilets. Yeah, so that story you can follow it on page 11 of the publication today. Also, Tanzania strengthens laboratory services as patients face misdiagnosis.
We have another paper?
Yes, we want to cross over now to Rwanda, where we have the New Times. Inside, Rwanda's switch to a biometric digital ID is what is headlining the front page of the publication today. Central African Republic President visits Rwanda, and you can see him here, President Faustin Change Touadera of the Central African Republic on arrival at Kigali International Airport on Sunday. And President Touadera, who was received by Minister of Interior Dr. Vincent Biruta in Rwanda, is in Rwanda for a 2-day working visit. Also, spike in respiratory illness prompts emission test drive. This is in Rwanda. Maybe also they should do that here in the country, right? To just test the level of the purity of our air. How is it? Also, Kayetesi Kayentekore on dermatology, identity and the healing in Rwanda. And also top MSMEs Driving Climate Action Circular Economy awarded. That is inside the publication today. And we have a Time magazine as well, the latest edition there. President-elect Donald Trump. And he's, what they're saying, West Palm Beach, Florida. All right, that's it.
Sawa, great. Let's take a look at weather situation across various parts in this country. And today we are taking a look at the areas where there will be by-election this week, this Thursday. We start off in Baringo County this morning. It's 21 degrees in Baringo. Feels like 24 degrees. It's a partly cloudy day here. Highs of 32. So it's a very hot day in Baringo. Precipitation 5%, very, very minimal. And by Thursday, there will be, okay, this will persist. The 32 degrees that we are experiencing today, will persist throughout the week into next week. That's the weather in Baringo. Let's cross over to Mandera, Banisa. This morning, it's 26 degrees, feels like 28, highs of 36, very hot day in Mandera as well. Highs of, 36 degrees, and this will also persist into next week, the 36 degrees. Precipitation 5%, very minimal chance of rain, nothing, hata hakuna kidogo. Twende Embu, Mbeere. It's 16 degrees this morning. It's a partly cloudy day. Feels like it, the 16 degrees. Highs of 26 today in Embu. Precipitation 5%, lakini it will rain kidogo starting 11 a.m. up until 3 p.m. thereabout. Let's cross over to Siaya, Ugunja. 18 degrees this morning. It's a partly cloudy day in Siaya County today. Highs of 31 degrees. Precipitation 5%. So kidogo sana, it's also a hot day in Siaya. And by Thursday, it will be 31 degrees. So today's weather, bado Thursday weather. Looks like it's standard. Help me with Homa Bay.
All right, coming to Homa Bay.
Yeah. Homa Bay, it's 20 degrees this morning. It feels like 24. It's also hot here as well, Kasipul Kule. Highs of 30 degrees. Precipitation, they say 10%, so no chance of rain here. By Thursday, it will be 31 degrees. So it's a hot day this week, even in Homa Bay. Finally,
Nairobi.
It's 16 degrees this morning as we speak, feels like it. Highs of 26 degrees, but they're saying, according to this projection here, that it's likely to rain today starting now up until 12 p.m.
12 p.m.?
Yes. Is it? Yeah.
Looks unlikely, but we're yet to see.
Yeah. So in Nairobi, the weather, I think it's quite good. So 25 degrees on Thursday as well. And then next week, it will go up to 26 degrees. So weather, very warm.
Yeah, whatever the weather, we will weather the weather.
I'll see you.
That's what they always say.
All right, 12 minutes for 6 a.m. Now we have to rush. We're taking a look at major tributaries to town. If this is the Muthaiga interchange, building up slowly on your way to town. Hapa, hizi zinakaa tu matatu hapo, but nothing to worry about. That is normal weather. If we go way back to Thika Road, clear. So if you're coming to town using Thika Road, that road is clear, lakini there is a little bit of snarl up there. Ngara hapa, it has started building up slowly from 6 a.m. now, right now from 5:50 thereabout, still building up slowly. That area around Gikomba, also the traders region. Hapa ni matatu, as I think so, matatu area. Jogoo Road also, nothing to worry about, clear as you can see. Matatus there. If we go way back to Mombasa Road is clear, as you can see this morning. Starting all the way from Cabanas, ukienda side za Mlolongo, that road is clear. Let's take a look at Ngong Road. Ngong Road is also, there's something small here, but nothing to worry about. Clear roads. Waiyaki Way, this morning, it's clear as well, nothing to worry about. So that's the traffic situation. 13 minutes past 6 a.m. Let's have the quarter biddy.
The path to greatness is paved with persistence, not perfection. Keep moving forward even when things seem impossible, for progress is born from overcoming adversity.
All right, let's come back and take a look at the local dailies in depth. All right, so we're going to rush through this. We start off with Taifa Leo. Ni kampeni za risasi na marungu. Masuala ya usalama, tukio la mkutano wa gavana Natembeya kufyatuliwa risasi akiwa eneo bunge la Kabuchai, Bungoma mnamo Jumamosi limezua hisia na mjadala mkali kuhusu usalama wa viongozi na wakazi katika msimu wa kampeni. Tukio la Natembeya lilijiri siku moja baada ya wananchi kuwafukuza maafisa wa usalama waliodaiwa kutumwa kuvuruga mkutano wa upinzani Malava. Vilevile, majuma mawili yaliyopita, watu wawili waliuawa Katipu kwenye kampeni za ubunge wa eneo hilo. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa pili wa gazeti hili. Wanasema kilele cha uhuni huo kilifikiwa mnamo Jumamosi baada ya Natembeya kutupiwa risasi na magari kuharibiwa. Election violence ahead of the by-election.
I'm telling you.
I'm looking forward to what your panelists will say about this today.
Yeah, but of course we have the Election Offence Act as well, still in Parliament. It's not being steamrolled. We shall look into that.
Absolutely. Vidokezo zaidi, uchaguzi Kindiki na Mudavadi katika ratili, matokeo ya chaguzi ndogo Mbeere na Malava, mtihani mgumu. Habari nyingine katika ukurasa wa 3 wa gazeti hili. Makongeni ni vilio baada ya bomoa. I guess that is what they wanted to see.
Bad. Yeah. Bomoa.
They're wenging even Swahili. Wakazi wa mtaa Mkongwe walia kufurushwa bila huruma. Habari katika kurasa wa pili. Museveni na Ruto waahidi kupeleka SGR DRC. Wasema hayo katika hafla ya kuzindua kampuni ya DStv. Na kule juu, masuala ya siasa bado pale. Winnie apewe cheo ODM. Huyo ni kulingana na Aladwa. Ataka binti Raila awe naibu kiongozi wa chama hicho ambacho kinara wake ni Oburu. Na masuala ya spoti pia, Chelsea tishio jipya, nao Man City na Liverpool hoi. The Blues yajikita katika nafasi ya pili ikisoma Arsenal mgongoni. Taifa Leo.
All right, the Daily Nation, this is what is on the front page of a Daily Nation this morning. How by-elections will change Ruto rivals 2027 plans is a splash. And looking at the flag at their politics, opposition leaders hope to prove popularity of Kenya Kwanza is dwindling. Thursday mini polls promise to act as a barometer for President William Ruto in choosing a new strategic partners, including entering into pre-election power-sharing deals for Deputy President Kithure Kindiki and Chief Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi. A poor showing of the president's party in Mbeere North and Malava, respectively, will have dire political consequences. And you have a story on page 4 and 5 of the publication today. Also, tears and pains. This is tears and pain. This is a bulldozer raving through and wreaking havoc there on all houses in Makongeni Estate in Nairobi yesterday after hundreds of residents were evicted by the government to pave way for their affordable houses. You can follow the story on page 2 of the publication today. And spending, State House leads others offices in budget breach. Fresh Treasury data shows that the State House spent 4.32 billion shillings against quarterly targets of 1.92 billion shillings for 3 months to September 30th, overshooting its recurrent budget by 125%. This is on page 21 of the Daily Nation this morning. And Deaflympics, Kenya raises medal tally to 10 in Tokyo Championships, with just 2 days remaining before the curtain falls on the 25th Summer Deaflympics. Kenya has garnered 10 medals, 4 gold, 4 silver and 2 bronze. This is on the back page of the publication. And something strange here, very novel, gospel on the dance floor. And we can see this priest preaching the word in clubs. This is Reverend Michael Watenga, an Anglican Church of Kenya priest in the Diocese of Kitale. Is no stranger to Eldoret's entertainment joints.
Should we normalize that?
So just beside the DJ, chaka, chaka, chaka. Yeah, rap.
In the name of the Father?
In the name of the Father. I just wonder, does it really go also with the vestures there, or is donning jeans and just laid back, right? Because it looks like also maybe there's a ceremonial service there where they offer sacrament and all.
Yeah.
I do not know. But you can follow the story on page 3 of the publication today. It's back to school for 30,000 CBE teachers. This is on page 7 of the publication today.
All right, that is the Daily Nation. The Standard, license to extort. Criminal Nexus, a shadowy criminal network, has spent the past year sweeping across Kenya, posing as state officers and extorting millions from terrified business owners, all under the protection of uniformed police. Now, the Standard uncovers the full scale of a brazen scheme legitimized by dubious Gazette notices and quietly enabled by senior commanders. At its center is a private company accused of impersonating regulators from KEBS to Kerry, while shaking down traders nationwide. Despite official directives to halt the operations, the syndicate continues to strike with impunity, leaving victims asking, who is protecting them? At the center of this scandal, we have Mercy Winja, Edward Olang, Nehemiah Nyaga Washira, Wycliffe Nyamanya, and Tabitha Kwena. Now, there are signed documents here, which have also been published on the front page of the Standard this morning. And this story, once again, is on page 2. They say, ring fleecing business owners protected by police chiefs. Multi-Works and Rights Enforcement Limited presents itself as a consumer rights and protection organization. Individuals allegedly from the firm, accompanied by police officers, impersonate government regulators to extort businesses. According to a private investigator quoted here, it is a group of about 20 to 30 individuals who move from town to town, but the top ring has about 10 individuals. Oh, interesting. Page 2, you can take a look at this story, and this is the only story covered on the front page of the Standard. Tukiangalia ndani, page 3, Kenya flagged among Africa's crime hotspots. Crime hotspots in this country. As Unona, it just vindicates this story on page 2. Ring fleecing businesses, owners protected by police chiefs. And then on page 3, they talk about us being flagged among African crime hotspots. What would you say
when we have a whole ship being flagged, carrying drugs at the coast? Yeah, that we are the hub of transmitting this narcotics across, the entire region. So this one is not really a surprise. Yeah. Likely losers, Minipol serve as litmus test for top power brokers. There is a story on page 4. Upcoming by-elections are more than local contests. They will determine regional power and test key leaders' influence. They will influence Ruto's government and set the stage for Kenya's 2027 political realignment. On the back page, homeboys close in on Gor as Leopards poor run goes on. Ingwe drop points for third consecutive match after 1-1 draw against Sharks. Muranga still salvage a point against visiting Shabana side. And Liverpool a mess, says worried captain Van Dijk. That's the Standard this morning. All right, the People Daily is asking a probing question. Is ODM now part of Ruto's failure? The party's internal paralysis has left Kenya without an effective opposition at a time when public frustration with the president is at its peak. Now, disjointed disunity has crippled the party's ability to challenge the government. The party's public messaging is inconsistent, leaving Kenyans unsure where it stands on major economic and political issues. The top leadership is more preoccupied with internal supremacy battles, meaning or remaining mute in the middle of national crises. Also, the absence of coordinated opposition has created a dangerous vacuum, enabling the Kenya Kwanza administration to push controversial policies with little resistance. That is what we have there on the disjointed. Looking at the flag missing in action, and you can see some of the sullen faces of some of the ODM officials there. And President Ruto as well has been inching closer within ODM affairs. It's critical for him right now. And we've seen some of the operatives within ODM saying, yeah, he needs more of the ODM than ODM needs him. So the story, you can follow it on page 5 and 6 of the publication today. Thursday showdown, the by-elections, everyone's watching. Yes, indeed, everyone is keeping their eyes peeled and keeping out their ear to listen in to find out what will be happening on the ground. Two major, of course, centers that will be of critical to the Kenya Kwanza administration is Mbeere North, Malava as well, Kasipul. And so members of parliament that we were there before, and then now they're maybe the cabinet secretary like Wandai has in Ugunja as well, has to show himself that he can bring, the numbers to the president. There's an opinion there. Kenya's exam fixation is fueling a nation of cheats, right? We're still never gazing on exams. It's a do or die thing, right? And we thought maybe with the CBC, that will be a thing of the past. That's why everyone now is having the more Kenya. I don't want to ask questions.
People in politics, people daily. Let's take a look at the business daily now.
Excuse me.
Sorry for that. Trump X's 7 billion shillings road deal signed by Ruto and Biden. Now, shortly after taking office for a second term, US President Donald Trump scripted a 7.6 billion shillings deal his predecessor signed with Kenya's William Ruto, throwing the Nairobi Bus Rapid Transit, that is the BRT project, into uncertainty. Now, new disclosures from Treasury reveal that the Millennium Challenge Corporation threshold program, originally earmarked for implementation in Kenya, is now slated for termination. The agreement was signed on September 19, 2023 in New York and entered into force on May 23, 2024, following President Ruto's state visit to the White House. Now, the program, designed to run from January 7, 2024 to June 30, 2027, aimed to improve urban connectivity, promote economic growth, and provide safer, climate-friendly transport options for underserved groups in Nairobi. This story is on page 2. Cancellation leaves Nairobi BRT project in limbo. Big ticket contracts terminated by US cross 108 billion shillings.
This is such a big tripping wire for President Ruto, whose quest for, a Singapore, a first world that we are to be, according to his own projection, even beyond his tenure. So this sets back his ambition. 7 billion shillings is such an eye-popping figure. And yes, we were bound to see this with the Trump really coming in, and everyone was also very bullish, looking at, Vice President Vidi coming on to Kenya, but that was cancelled because he could not really attend also the South African G7 summit.
Yeah.
So there maybe will have been a glimmer of hope, making sure that we can course correct some of the issues that are like AGOA that has not been renewed, and now we have this as well. So this is such a damper,
a big blow
for the president.
Top 40 under 40 men covered in the front page of this newspaper 2025. It's interesting because last week was International Men's Week, and these men are disruptors, doers, and problem solvers. Extensively on the inside pages of the Business Daily. On the ticker, Treasury on the spot over 2.6 trillion shillings domestic borrowings. Court upholds site on liquidation to recover 11 billion shillings assets, and investors chase returns in long-term government bonds. That's the Business Daily this morning.
Doers. These men are doers. I wonder that. I just got a hang up of it. Who is a doer?
Did you attend men's conference this year?
I've never attended
this
men's
weekend.
Conference. No. I don't know what really entails there, so I wouldn't really show for a meeting that I have no, agenda that maybe is rhyming up with what I really stand for. I don't know what really transpires there anyway.
I'll ask for you next time.
Please do.
The Star. Now, close to 30 billion shillings lost in state plan to uplift youth and women. Audits and earth graft in Hustler, Wezo, among other funds. And this story is on page 4 and 5. Parties go all out as by-election campaigns end. We see them here on the front page of the Star. We have a physical copy here.
Yes.
And they say DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua and Newton Karish is vying for Mbeere North MP on the DP ticket. DCP Deputy Party leader Cleophas Malala, Malava MP candidate Seth Panyako, and DAPK leader Eugene Wamalwa campaign in Malava. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula, Kenya Kwanza candidate David Ndakwa, and Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi campaign in Malava still. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki and Mbeere North UDA candidate Leo Wamuthende during the Ngiri People's Forum in Muminji Ward, that is in Mbeere North constituency, Embu County. All that is about on this photo right here on the front. It's a collage of the campaigns in various constituencies. High cost of production hurting our textile sector. It's another story on page 6. On the top strip, Matters Politics, IEBC dismisses claims of rigging, says it's ready for by-election. And Ruto, Kenya and Uganda are sisters, they'll never fight. That story is on page 2. That's the Star this morning. Fresh, independent, different. Grab a copy. 60 Kenya shillings today.
Yes.
You wanted to say something?
Yes, yes. Well, I was just wondering, sisters, they never fight?
Yes.
Oh.
Sisters fight. I fight with mine almost every day. But anyway, according to Ruto, sisters don't fight.
They don't fight.
Sawa. Once again.
Yes, this is up next. Kipruto Rapkirwa, former Agriculture Cabinet Minister, is here in the studio. Also, we shall be joined momentarily by Kathy Irungu, governance expert. Samuel Pugisio, former Cabinet ICT Minister, is here as well. And we have a very interesting discussion looking at some of the things that we flagged this morning, especially on the by-elections, which is coming up, is a topical issue this week, and very pivotal, is a do or die for some parties as well, with very key wards and also constituencies being looked at: Mbeere North, Malava, Kasipul. These are some of the things, and the IBC also coming to just quell the fears that there won't be any riggings as well. But there are latest development that we know that is coming also from the other side of Mbeere North, especially when it comes to Leo Muthendu. In fact, that particular name, I don't want to mention what it means. Yeah, maybe Kathy Irungu will tell us what Muthendu means. Yeah, it's a very funny one. Yes, but the latest development, I think some of the opposition leaders are raising questions about the Muthende. They're raising questions about his credibility that is sold through the IBC, and there are questions arising about some of his past, and which we shall put it on the table with our panelists.
So much to talk about. Let's take a look at the caricatures today. Matters by-election, this is the Star. By-elections, horse trading, and they're here. Kila mtu na wake, Wamuthende. The Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has been caricatured here on a zebra. Former DP as well on a horse. And we have, this is Were as a horse, and we see the chairperson there, ODM. That is Gladys Wanga. There's Pasaris there, a host of ODM leaders, not party leaders, ODM leaders rather. So by-elections, horse trading, Matters by-election, given prominence on this caricature here of the Star. This is Daily Nation.
And this is IGEA Gazette rebranding sanitizer, party tickets, scandals. I think this is one of the things that, some of them have been gazetted, and yet now there are scandals which are arising. People are asking, so now have they really crossed the Rubicon? I've just mentioned one of the candidates as well. Right. So that will be a question that will also be put on the table to our panelists as well to tell us.
More about this story: Gazette rebranding sanitizer on the front page of the Standard this morning, license to extort. The Standard, now this is a bit confusing, and it says, the spirits tell me that your wife cannot conceive.
This is GAM's in the Standard. So people are actually going to the Juju man, and you can see all the witchcraft paraphernalia there. They're being, of course, consulted. I wonder if this is, the spirit tells me that your wife cannot conceive. So I'll leave it for the viewers to decipher this as well. I cannot even decipher this is what it's all about, and what connection as well. Is it a politics? Who is this? Yeah. And I wish we had that a bit legible so that we can actually read it out.
All right.
Yeah, but this is the Standard.
Finally, People Daily. Ruto plus Kenya equals Singapore. And the opposition leaders are telling him here, wrong comparison, liar, the answer is Somalia. So according to opposition leaders and according to this caricature, Ruto plus Kenya equals to Somalia. That's People Daily this morning.
That's Dano in the People Daily.
All right. So do interact with us on our socials. Later on, Monday Blitz will be joining us. Katela Macy and Fred Arocho and Duncan Mutua for Monday Blitz Weekend Sports. We can already see your feedback on social media. Charity Njeri saying good morning from Maua Town. Good morning to you. Mburuwa Mam anasema Bungoma in. Derek Osoro, good morning from Nyamache Market Center. Ras Kalebi Wegles anasema good morning from Kisii. Nyanchwa Massive. Thank you so much for waking up with us this morning. TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X, TV47 Digital. My handle on X is at @_Dida. The hashtag is Morning Cafe TV47. Your handle?
At the Ballot now. It's all socials.
See you after the break.
Indeed.
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Oma every Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. only on TV47. Full body workouts, zero equipment, maximum results. Start strong, stay strong. TV47 Fitness with Coach Shadrach only on TV47. Looking for the perfect way to kick off your weekend?
Pole. Hiyo ni salamu ya Mluya kabisa.
Tune in to Friday with Betty, the most exciting show on TV.
Betty, one tear gas. Betty, I don't know where this guy's going.
Walikutoka.
From the latest news and trends to unforgettable moments.
Mimi simpa. Hiyo naona nakubali.
Wewe ni simpa.
Friday with Betty is your go-to show for a fabulous Friday night.
Theological, meteorologist. What is that word, Willis?
Tune in this and every Friday at 9 p.m. and let's make your Fridays unforgettable. Only on TV47. Enjoy uninterrupted live streaming of your favorite programs on TV47 and Radio 47 on the go with our new mobile-friendly website. Experience the future of broadcasting. Visit www.tv47.digital or scan this QR code and stream your way to endless news and entertainment. Welcome to the home of untold stories.
This is Kenya's #1 talk show, Dr. Farika tonight. My name is the Eagle himself. Dr. Farika is my name.
We are flipping the script, but guess what? Or should I say, guess who is taking over tonight's show?
Anyway, furahia umekaa na kasipuni. CP unit ni Punet.
Ni Punet.
Punet.
So you guys knew about...
Piga.
Sawa basi. I say, man, that don't give you the whole time.
I don't want to go back to brokenness.
No.
I just love the high life. Siwezi taka kuimagine ati nimesota.
You'll have to watch to find out. Tune in every Wednesday from 7:30 p.m.
Next time you need fresh lemon juice, microwave a lemon for 7 to 10 seconds. Then roll the lemon back and forth under your palm on the counter. When you squeeze, you'll get more juice from the lemon with way less effort.
Start your day with Relationship Wednesday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. with Ann Odida. Dive deep into the dynamics of love, friendship, and family as we explore the stories that shape our connections. Then satisfy your appetite with Tasty Wednesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. where Anne serves up delicious recipes, cooking tips, and the latest food trends to inspire your next meal. Relationship Wednesday and Tasty Wednesday every Wednesday 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on Morning Cafe.
Your nose alone won't always tell you if your eggs have gone bad. To find out, gently place uncooked eggs in a bowl of cold water. If an egg sinks to the bottom, it's A-OK. If it floats, it's seen better days.
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Omer every Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. only on TV 47. Full body workouts, zero equipment, maximum results. Start strong, stay strong. TV 47 Fitness with Coach Shadrach only on TV 47.
Welcome back. We want to buckle down to a discussion this morning. And of course, today marks the final end of the campaigns, knowing that the hours are ticking to, of course, the by-election on Thursday, where everyone is navel-gazing on some of the constituencies. We have the Barren North, we have Malava, Kasipul, Ugenya as well, amongst many that we shall be, of course, highlighting this morning. But those are the critical areas that people are looking. And everyone is saying this could be the barometer of testing President William Ruto's, of course, leadership. And also, it will be a pause giver to some, whether he will go on with Kindiki or he might just rethink and recalibrate his political chessboard as well. Mbere North, Kasipul, and Malava. Malava also, we know previously, where we had Musalia Mudavadi losing to his constituency there, and we had a wide margin. UDA never made it, of course, during that particular time. And this will also be another opportunity. Will he now revive himself with his political mettle? Or even with the demise of ANC, so it will be also the demise of Musalia Mudavadi politically? This is a pivotal question. Of course, this will also be a handy opportunity for the president to handpick and maybe to gauge who will be his running mate. But does this also throw a tripping wire in the mix when it comes to the deputy president? ODM now saying our irreducible minimum is the deputy president if we are to be in this broad-based government. But let's just get an inkling of what is happening in Mbere North.
With just 4 days to the crucial Mbere North by-election, political forces are locked in heated contest. Rigathi Gachagua leading the opposition charge for Newton Kariuki, while the government side, fronted by Kithure Kindiki, pushes the candidacy of Leonard Wamuthende. Gachagua began his day at SEK St. Stephen's Church, urging residents to turn out in large numbers. He assured them a peaceful, transparent election and claimed the poll would offer Mbere voters a chance to embarrass President Ruto by showing his warning grip on the Mount Kenya region.
The dignity and the pride of the mountain people is in the hands of the people of Mbere. I beseech you, my people, please dignify our community. Restore our pride and dignity as a community.
He further accused the government of deploying youth groups to disrupt opposition meetings, warning President Ruto against using fear to silence political opponents.
Let us have a fair contest. Tumepata habari watu yako ya mkono, huyu Soprano, huyu Ruko Karinda, atu wanatafuta wakora huko Kikuyu, huko Kiandutu in Thika, atu wakuja waangaishe hawa Mbere. William Ruto, hawa wa Mbere walikuchagua. Hapana tuma wahuni kuja kuangaisha wa Mbere.
On the government side, Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, joined by Public Service Cabinet Secretary Geoffrey Ruku, intensified campaigns for Wamuthende.
Ni leo si leo. Ni leo si leo. Wacha nione wale nasema leo Wamuthende, leo Wamuthende, leo Wamuthende.
Kindiki fired back at Gachagua's remarks, warning him to stay off the government's campaign turf or risk being exposed.
Wewe Goliathi, wewe ni one-term MP. Wewe Goliathi ni one-term MP. Na uachane na mimi. Ukiendelea kunitusi, wewe mzee, wewe nitakuvua nguo. Wewe nitakuweka aibu. Nitakuweka aibu. Mimi nimekuwa waziri wa usalama wa taifa, najua mambo mengi. Usicheze na mimi, nitakuvua nguo wewe. Wewe.
Joash Onsare, TV 47.
Salala. Yaani mumeamua.
Tutavuana nguo tena, jamani. Coming from, of course, the campaigns as well. Anything can fly. And this is where everyone is keeping out their ear to listen into what they're saying and keeping their eyes peeled out to see what is happening on the ground. Before we settle down with our discussion, very interesting also editorial cartoon that we have from Victor. And this is Mbere North by-elections, as you can see it there. And we have the deputy president. He has locked the Mount Kenya door. He says if you want to go to Mount Kenya, it has to go through him. And we can see this is the chairperson of UDA, Cecily Mbarira there, and of course willing on the wheelbarrow there, deputy, that is the President William Ruto. Yeah, it's a tight rope balancing act to cross to Mount Kenya. So is UDA going way over the door, right? This is where we want to just pick up also the minds of our panelists. We're joined this morning by Kathy Irungu, who is a governance and a policy analyst and expert. We have as well Samuel Pogisio, who is the former cabinet minister, ICT, and also we have the former cabinet minister of agriculture. This is Kipruto Arap Kirwa. Good morning.
Good morning.
You had a lovely night.
Wonderful.
You slept serenely. Yeah. Good to see you. Thank you so much. And of course, it's a Monday. Everyone is looking forward to seeing what will be happening today, being the last day of the campaigns. But just looking at that editorial cartoon, it has been such a tightrope walk. As you can see, also the deputy president is really struggling to say, "Nitawavua nguo," right? And I just wonder what such epithets, expletives that is tipping off from the podiums of the campaigns really portend when it comes also to the Election Offence Act as well. We shall be discussing and looking at that. We've seen also that really happening in the Malava constituency, Natembea, the gunshots there, the cars that were stoned. Let's just begin with you, Kipruto Arap Kirwa, from that particular note.
Well, these are very interesting times, Dibal, because while I do not really subscribe that it may entirely spell the roadmap towards the next general election, it is going to give us some kind of the shifts on the grounds, depending on the margins of winning, because some constituencies are clearly going to go to the opposition, and some may be retained by ODM or whatever. But at the end of the day, it may not be an entire script as to what will happen to the next general election. But something that is worrying me is the level of violence and hostility that we are visiting each other. Because I see the Honorable Ndiki is talking a language that is not akin to him. He's not been talking that kind of language. He's been a man of very, very good words, but now I can see he wants to strip somebody naked, and that's not what a professor ought to do.
It seems really out of character.
It's out of character for him. I think it's on his extremities. Perhaps he has gone out of his normal style. He's not somebody that you would actually expect to say some of the words that he's been saying. And allow me to condemn the violence that was visited to my governor, the governor of Trans Nzoia, George Natembea, and also remind the regime that if anybody was to die, and 2 people died indeed in that kind of challenge, it is not good. You should not be allowing even a single Kenyan to die, or even to be bruised for that particular matter. For the time somebody, and I want to also advise the Honorable Moses Wetangula, is been associated with violence, be it now or in any other by-election. I think when history is written, our legacy will be how peaceful were you in your constituency. How do you kill the people who have elected you? As I've told you, I served my people of Cherangani for 20 years. If for some reason they don't want me anymore, I cannot tell them that I have to kill them for them to vote for me.
Yes.
But visiting goons and allowing ammunitions to get into the hands of the wrong people, because I don't want to say those who are policemen shooting all over in Kabuchai. It is something that we should condemn as a people. I should also encourage peaceful election, knowing that the next election is not going to bring us non-Kenyans to be president or to be anything in Kenya. It is going to be among us that one of us will be the president and the rest of us will not be.
Indeed. And of course, when we talk about the deputy president, we can understand evidently the mounting pressure that he has or is going through right now for him to deliver Mbeere North. So, as you say, he's really going out of character. But that is the nature of politics. You know, you change sometimes. People are saying, oh, wewe ni muungwana sana. Like a gentleman like Mr. Pogisio, the way he's well kept, he says in politics now you need to roll up your sleeves and get into the murky waters as it is. So is the pressure really mounting on him? Because I think if he doesn't really deliver this at the end of the day, this is a bellwether of a 2027. Will he still be picked as the running mate of President William Ruto?
Thank you, Diva. The Deputy President has a very difficult job at the moment. But the pressure to deliver is obviously on his head. He is going to come out fighting. And I think he has understood his opponent. He says, in fact, he took up the language of the opponent because, you know, the opponent speaks directly to the president, say, wait.
Yeah.
And this guy just started all of a sudden to do the same and attack. The thing about it, he never actually mentioned, well, he said, I don't know how he calls Gachagua. Did he call him Goliath or whatever? Goliath. Yeah. And yeah, Goliath. So wait, and then he went ahead and said, you know, I know so much about you and I can shame you and stuff.
But that is giving also Gachagua too much credit, calling him a Goliath, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's become a Goliath.
Yeah, Goliath. So, but the thing about it is that it's between the deputy president and a governor who needs to be worried, because this by-election can reflect what's going to happen at the same time. Because if you lose, or you seem to have lost control, nobody's going to do it. If you don't have the control right now, it's a measure. So this is going to be a litmus test for some people. And I know the system or the party, the UDA party, is looking to see if that is the team that they'll be sending. Okay, so this team has very short time to think, how do we then regain this seat? And so that's why sometimes it gets a bit violent. Because it will be written badly if the deputy president and the governor of that council would be on the losing side.
Okay.
And so they're struggling not to make sure that it doesn't happen. But you see, we are very practical, we are very pragmatic politicians.
Allow me just to butt in a bit so that I may correct your mic as well. I'm losing you.
Okay.
Yes, so I think we'll rectify that momentarily. But let me come to you, Kathy, on this as well. First of all, there's new development, and I think maybe this will, I don't know how this is going to challenge also the by-election on Leo Mudende Njeru, right? First of all, the name Mudende, I think people are making a mockery out of it. Why will a person be called Mudende? Maybe you can decipher for us, Kathy, you know what it means, or is it's not something to be talked about during a breakfast show? But yeah, let me just...
So first of all, it's really something that I would want to discuss in private. However, it's an interesting name.
It's an interesting name.
It's not an ordinary name, you know, so to speak. But then in our let me say, the way we name among us, the Kikuyus, the Embus, and the Merus, you'll find some people just pick some very interesting name for certain reason. For example, you'll find someone named after an animal, like Ngari or Njogu, which Njogu means an elephant.
Gui.
Or Gui. Yeah, we have all that, you know. And now for this particular individual, he's called Wamudende, and of course it has elicited a lot of excitement on the ground. But he's also using the name, you know, boldly, courageously, and like telling people, you know what, it doesn't matter. It is my name, I own it, and I'll run with it. I listened to Cecily Mbarire repeat it 1,000,000 times and say, well, you know, wherever you go, just say Wamudende, Wamudende, Wamudende. So just to ensure that it hits and it
in a demeaning manner.
It rings in everybody's mind. So just to add my voice to the conversation, Dibula, I think my first observation is that we have made it a normal thing to create a narrative where you always have a two-horse race. And this two-horse race will present you with two candidates and ignore everybody else, even in a contest like the Mbeere North contest, where we have, initially we had 12, and now we have like 9. Remember, even my party, Jubilee Party, had a candidate, but we withdrew and decided to support one particular candidate as the United Opposition. But then there are so many other candidates who are also, I would actually look at them as if, or like they are in the United Opposition, yet nobody is talking about it.
Yes, yes.
So we have created a two-horse race, and the two-horse race now is between Wamudende Leo and Newton Karish. And yesterday I listened to a debate where in a different media house, and about 9 was it 9 of them attended? And of course, Leo Wamudende did not attend, the others were there. And one of the things that you pick very clearly, the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, up to the 1 millionth horse had something to say about the constituency. While the other two, the other main characters, everything revolves around the emotional manipulation and the bile between the key principles that are playing in this particular contest. So when I look at Rigathi Gachagua and Kithure Kindiki, and both of them coming out strongly as if they are the ones who are contesting. You know, this contest is not between the two of them.
Yes.
This contest is between some, you know, in fact, all of them are male. They don't have a female candidate. And it is just among us, these men. Why can't we let them play it out and, you know, sell their manifesto, tell the people of Mbele what they are going to do for them? But now we have made it a contest between the former deputy president and the current deputy president. And it is obvious why both of them would want to, you know, to prove themselves as far as this one is concerned, because this is their home turf. For both of them. And remember when Kithure Kindiki was coming into power, there was a lot of debate around is the Ambian, the Embu people and the Meru people part of Mount Kenya? Or do we then say that this is Mount Kenya West and this is Mount Kenya East? So that excitement seems to have resolved. And now people are back to their senses. But just as they were going to pick those senses and maybe start reasoning, the excitement around 1 term and 2 term is back again. So the outcome of this general by-election, especially in Mbere, will be, number one, a catalyst, but it will determine how the people vote in 2027. For me, that is very clear, because it is very similar to what happened in Kiambaa in the year 2020, when we voted for the first UDA candidate, who is Kawanjiku. So I think for both Rigathi Gachagua and Kithure Kindiki is a matter of life and death. And they are making now the people feel like it is really a matter of life and death. It is unfortunate that we are experiencing a lot of violence, not just in Mbere, but across the region. The question is it what we should expect come 2027? We should be very worried.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kathy. And with that particular note, we're going to just take a short break. And when we circle back, of course, we shall pick up on where Samuel Pogisio left, just having the mic challenges there. I hope you've not lost your train of thought, so you can pick up from there. But also to just flag some of the latest development that we have. What is in a name? Because that name also is being problematic with the United Opposition raising questions about the credibility of Leo Mudende Njeru, who was previously Leonard Muriuki Njeru, right? So we shall also be highlighting that on the other side of a break. Don't go away, you're watching Morning Cafe.
No more excuses. It's time to rise, grind, and own your mornings. Join Coach Shadrach Ouma every Monday to Friday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. Only on TV 47. Full body workouts, zero equipment, maximum results. Start strong, stay strong. TV 47 Fitness with Coach Shadrach. Only on TV 47. Looking for the perfect way to kick off your weekend?
Pole. Hiyo ni salamu ya Mluya kabisa.
Tune in to Friday with Betty, the most exciting show on TV.
Betty, one tear gas. Betty, I don't know where this guy's going.
Walikutoka.
From the latest news and trends to unforgettable moments.
Mimi simpa. Hiyo nao nakubali.
Wewe ni simpa.
Friday with Betty is your go-to show for a fabulous Friday night.
Theological, meteorologist. What is that word, Willis?
Tune in this and every Friday at 9 p.m. and let's make your Fridays unforgettable. Only on TV 47. Enjoy uninterrupted live streaming of your favorite programs on TV 47 and Radio 47 on the go with our new mobile-friendly website. Experience the future of broadcasting. Visit www.tv47.digital or scan this QR code and stream your way to endless news and entertainment. Welcome to the home of untold stories.
This is Kenya's #1 talk show, Dr. Frederick tonight. My name is the Eagle himself. Dr. Frederick is my name.
We are flipping the script.
All right, just a tender reminder that, yes, the time is ticking to, of course, the D-Day, that is a by-election, and that will be on Thursday. And the by-election circus continues apace, as you can see that being depicted there by Victor Ndulo in the Daily Nation. Everyone is busy right now, today being the last day, and we can see where everyone is feeding on. We have the bull there. We have people on the motorbike. We have also the chairperson of the ODM playing a guitar, right? They're actually having an orchestra there. But also in the mix is a very interesting development where we have the opposition now saying that Wamodendo might be an IEBC imposter. And we have lawyer Ndegwa Njiru on his post posing this. He's asking a very critical question that maybe I will just highlight before we continue. He says, one, in the IEBC register, the UDA candidate is registered as Leonard Muriuki Njeru. In his nomination papers, he appears as Leo Wamodende Njeru. In law, is this the same person? Yes. 2, can he be deemed to be a registered voter? 3, were these changes disclosed to the IEBC at the time of nomination? 4, did the IEBC rectify the voters' register to reflect these changes? And if yes, did the IEBC notify the general public via a gazette notice about the said changes? 5, can, in the circumstance, Mr. Mudende be deemed to be a registered voter for purposes of the by-elections? 6, the law under Section 10 of the Registrar of Persons Act states that if no objection is received within 21 days of the publication, the registrar shall register the change and issue a certificate to that effect. 7, was this certificate ever issued by the registrar? And if yes, when? And was it ever forwarded to the IEBC at the time of nomination, noting that Mr. Mudende has only published the gazette notice? And finally, where is the certificate for the change on name? Do you think this is a potential legal minefield? Now we have two different personalities when we're talking about the name, and I think that's why we were actually saying what is in a name. Pogisio, maybe you can continue on that?
Yes. Thank you, Debra. That is a new thing altogether, and that's a legal matter, and I leave that to the lawyers, because those are very valid questions to ask. Is this the same person? Has he met all the requirements for the change of name? And is this name reflected?
And where is the certificate?
For the voter, so that the voter knows that this means the same as this one, and doesn't have to confuse the voters on that note. So was it used as a scheme to just win the voters and not do the legal thing? I don't understand why anybody. Of course, there is a lot of aliases in politics. You like a name, you go for it, like Sonko, you go for it like Babayao, you go for it like, all those names are just created and aliases. But you can change that legally before the election and be sure it's captured.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in this case, I think it can be a very good matter, and for Advocate Njiro, who is a very solid, in my view, lawyer. He has valid questions that he's asking, and he wants answers, and the people in Beira North want answers about that before they go to the election. So those must be resolved also by today. You know, or in the next 2 days or so, before the 27th. So I'd like to say that maybe that is a way to deal with the matter legally, and I think both sides have got lawyers enough to answer those questions. I don't know about the reflection of a name, why you would have wanted that name, which apparently cannot be pronounced publicly, or for some reason in the culture, in the language. But so why would you go to a name that, you know, can also be ridiculed? Yeah.
Indeed, and the question is just not about a name. Is a change of name because of the past history. The reason that this is being brought to the fore is the credibility of you know, the candidate himself. Why there was a changeover of names. I think that's why the lawyer is raising questions. Does it have a credible, you know, past history? Does he really pass muster as far as the Leadership and Integrity Act is concerned? Then the questions are raised, how did he pass through, you know, the grid of the IEBC when they're vetting the candidates with these critical questions being raised right now? Maybe I'll pose it to you also, Kiproto Arab Kirwa. Is it too late, way too late? Can this also affect the outcome? Because we don't want now to go through, you know, the rigors of the by-elections. Then someone moves to court again to challenge because of his past record, and then we are wasting money going for another by-election because of credibility issues.
Well, my worry is that if he wins the election, that matter must come.
Might crop up, yeah.
But if he doesn't win, then it is all water under the bridge. But I don't know why to be advised in September, knowing that he was going for this election in November. He should have been able to regularize his documents such that even the ID reflects the new name, such that those IEBC officials should have been able to check the ID and tell them, okay, what evidence do you have that you are the same person, while your ID is telling us of a different name? You are giving us a new name, which is not reflected in the official document and even the passport. So I feel IEBC should have been able to flag out that issue, raise it at that particular time, and ignoring it actually is like many of the things that have been happening, that many people without university education are clear to run for offices of governors.
Yes.
And this is anomaly that either we make it as illegal that you don't need university education to be a governor. But if it's still in our statutes and we're ignoring it, it is actually making the exception more of the rule than allowing the rule to obtain in such circumstances. This is what I say, lack of clear political hygiene in our country and increasing popularity of bad manners in the field of politics, because we seem to be taking everything as if it doesn't matter. Let's do things differently. As long as you succeed, the end justify the means. What we should be doing is let us be strict. If my name is different from other documentations that I have, then I should be asked, how do you realign your issues? Because either it's the ID or it's the passport, and if there is discrepancy between the two documents, then I should be able to explain And that's why when you raise the issue of certificate, was he given a certificate that we are dealing with the same person? Or is it just that Gazette notice that I saw, I think, from the office of the advocate? It's not even a Gazette notice by the registrar of persons. So these are some of the issues that I don't know the young man, and I don't want to condemn him because I don't know him. But it is not politically proper to do some of those issues.
So some of his past record might come to really haunt him and come to bear in this particular election. So, which also raises a critical question that I think is before Parliament right now, and they're not giving it much premium attention. You've also highlighted Kipruto Arap Kirwa, of course, of your governor, you know, the way there were guns blazing there. His motorcade also was pelted with stones as well. The Election Offence Act, that we know the parliamentarians are not really keen to pass it through because it's going to adversely affect them. How then should we push the envelope, we as Kenyans, since it is actually within their remit to do it and they're not doing it at the end of the day? Kathy, let's begin.
You know, at times you wonder, these laws are made for all of us, but the way we apply them is quite selective. And I think that's where you're coming from. I remember in 2017 when I ran for the Member of Parliament, Mathira, and IEBC actually called us to submit some financial, you know, some account, show how much money you have in your account and how much you intend to use for your campaign. And it was actually selective. In fact, I was raising that issue with IEBC about 2 weeks ago, and I was asking them, what was that about? Because it is just I talked about the two-horse race that we always create. In that particular general election, in my case, where I come from, it is not everybody who submitted their accounts, you know, so that you can check how much one should use in a general election or parliamentary. Is it woman led, senatorial, and all that? But then there's something I would like to add my voice to. You see, when Professor Kindiki says nitakuvua nguo, what basically he meant is what we say in English, I'll strip you naked. And the kind of stripping naked that happens in our Kenyan politics at all levels, whether you're talking about Kasipul, you're talking about Mbere, you're talking about Magarini and everywhere else, we are hearing a lot of attacks on personality, where you say, you know, Dibur is not a serious character because of 1, 2, 3 things. Even the issues that are being raised now about Wamudende, I listened to the current deputy president attack Karish, you know, the opponent, the one who's in DP party, and said, you know, we know that you actually took some land from a widow. And it is how we have actually normalized politics or personality at the expense of discussing real issues that affect the people. Listen to everybody in that campaign trail who is keenly addressing water issues, who is keenly addressing security, who is keenly addressing health issues and all that. No one. People are actually out to settle scores, you know. Rigathi Gachagua does not like William Ruto, and therefore he'll ensure that William Ruto's candidate fails. Kindiki does not like Rigathi Gachagua, and therefore the candidate must fail. I mean, we do all these shenanigans at the expense of the common wananchi. People are still suffering, remember the bull. We have so many issues that have not been addressed, even at that local level of Embu. When I listened to their debate yesterday, I could pick that one of their key issues is water. Supply of water is a big problem. Electricity, most of those homes are not connected to electricity. But when people take to the podium, when people go to churches and all those places where they are doing their campaign, who is addressing those issues? No one. We are back to politics or personality. And by the way, it is not just an Embu affair. It is not a by-election affair. Look at even our key political leaders. Everywhere they go, most of the time, they're just talking about, you know, this person and the other person. By the way, if there's one person who is learning quickly, you know, or trying to copy very quickly, and I did not expect that to happen, is my deputy party leader, Fred Matiang'i. I listened to him yesterday and the day before, and I couldn't believe that there's so much transformation that has happened to him within a week or 2 weeks just because of this general election, I mean, by-election.
In what sense? In what sense?
I mean, I listened to him for the first time. He said, I listened to him in one of the meetings, and he said, wakikuja na vita, hata sisi tutaleta vita. That is unlike him. That is unlike him. But our politics has a way of changing people and changing character.
Yes.
Because of, I mean, the very nature, very nature. And this is something we need to think about very seriously as a people, because that is where, and that is what has kept us at this position that we are, whining every day, crying every day, that I elected a person and they did not do this. Why? Because they were, I mean, what was their agreement? When they came to campaign, they were just campaigning on the platform of, I don't like Dibul, and I don't like Waziri Kirwa, Dibal, and I don't like Wakili Pogisio, I mean Waziri Pogisio. What is that? We are not solving the issues that bedevil our nation.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, when we talk about it, we need to question the brand of our politics. Kiproto Rapkirwa, first of all, even if we have the election offense amendment bill being enacted and assented to by the president, and we don't change our brand of and culture of our politics, where the president has the quest that he wants to see this country becoming the first world country. And I was reading, just plumbing through the book of Lee Kuan Yew, right, who said in one of the chapters there that, you know, what really underpins his progress towards making Singapore where it is today is the fact that they also based, you know, all those endeavors they had on their cultural assets, you know, the discipline, the maturity, the, you know, the harmony, the cohesion they had as a country, which doesn't seem to be also auguring well where we are as a country as far as culture is concerned. If we have such expletives, you know, on the podium that, oh, ukileta fujo nita, yeah, I'll retaliate with fujo at the end of the day. Wewe nita kuvua nguo. You know, those are the things that we don't want to hear right now, especially as we're heading towards the general election. Can we change and dial back this brand of political culture that we have in the country?
Well, first of all, let us also reflect that some of the countries like India and Singapore, despite the fact that the Mzungu was there for about 200 years, shorter than they were here in Kenya, but they still maintain their religion. For us, we lost even our capacity to realize that in our traditional ways, we knew there was God. And we now took the God of the Mzungu to the extent that if your name does not have a Mzungu name, then you are not Christian enough. And that is where we feel...
Is that why we don't know the Kiproto Rapkirwa and the Christian?
Yeah, they say I don't have any religion, as if my names or my name as an indication of Christianity, or without being called Joseph.
Yeah, you have the African
or Abednego, or other funny names, then I've ceased to be a Christian. This is somewhere I feel fundamentally we lost the script as a people. Now, come forward, the year 2007 was the watershed of the violence that we have seen in this country. Of course, we used to have a lot of violence in certain parts of Kenya, but to have national violence where elections were defined that it is we versus the rest, that is where I feel these bad manners got into our bedroom. And we are still grappling with it. We are not likely to get out of it, and we run the risk of allowing it to come back because we seem to feel that if I'm popular here, then nobody else should raise a voice. And we are likely to segment this country into a situation that come 2027, we'll be having some areas where it is no-go zone for some parties, and it's going to be a rollover for some of the political parties. But the second issue, which is also very important, and I think we need to assist the president, is not to be giving us this narrative of Singapore. He has no capacity. He has no intention. He has no will. But you see, what he does is what we say in psychology. You create some bit of distance so that people imagine beyond you. And now you allow them, because at times he talks of the next 20 years, as if he's going to be president for 20 years. And yet there is no blueprint like what we had with Mzee Kibaki or Vision 2030. He should give us Vision 2063 or whichever it is. so that we know we are operating within certain written blueprint, parameters that are clear, definable, and anybody else taking over office as some kind of institutional memory. But just giving us the narrative that is going to take us to that world while he's demolishing houses and he's sending people out of their houses. You see, what William Ruto should know is that my simple house in the village, a house like this one, is not useless because that is the cover above my head. You see, the fact that he's in the State House and I'm somewhere in the village, in a crash-site house, does not make me less of a Kenyan than he is as a president.
And there's a lot of memory that goes into it as well.
Yeah, he should actually be very clear. And he should also declare a conflict of interest. The companies that are manufacturing cement, companies that are manufacturing all these materials for building are his. That's why he was in Uganda the other day promoting DEFCI. These are the people who are doing business with him. Tell me, which are these contractors that went through DVET, that are doing housing in Malaba, they are doing housing in Vihiga, they are doing housing in Busia, from the local boys. The same contractor, we don't know where the contractor comes from, and we don't know who is doing all these things. That's why there is no transformational agenda. There is no socio-economic transformational agenda on these houses. If people are building houses, these young men and women who have come from Tibet, that money would be in circulation. And they would be able to buy things. And I would also get, as a farmer, money from the construction. But this is money going to a few individuals. The president being the principal contractor, the principal constructor, and the bearer of the vision. This is something that at times I feel is so tiring. And at times we talk and we feel actually insulted by our collective intelligence has been insulted by this president. Yep.
So you think this is a pure hyperbole that we...
No, he's just doing business. He wants to do business with everything.
Right.
Which business is he not in? When it comes to all these things, he's part of it. He's part of whether it is affordable housing. Is the main principle doing it.
Right. No wonder we had the CEO of DEFCI saying, you know, he will lead the country for
20 years.
For the next 25 years.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, let's come to you, Pogisho, still on that particular beat as well.
Yeah.
And I wanted you to focus on the campaign finance bill. Very critical, even as we're heading towards a general election as well. These two pivotal bills still, they are laying on the table of Parliament. They're not moving at all. And they will not see a light of day, even if we go to the next general election.
But we'll get tired of assessing this parliament, trying to figure out what this parliament is all about. This particular parliament may not be the parliament to help us with that. Unfortunately, it's the parliament set now before the next general election. But really, we've seen from many, many incidences that this parliament was just, you can be swayed, can be taken. We've said it's been captured, literally. And if this parliament is to be the one responsible for that, they will check if that law is not going to favor them. It's not going to pass. The plan is definitely not to pass it because it's not the priority right now.
It will come to right now.
So it's time to say to the leadership of parliament, don't pass laws on account of what they mean to you now. It is a law for posterity. It is a law for the coming generations. It's exactly what we say normally, that if you want to increase the salaries of members of parliament, don't do it in the parliament that is sitting now. You do it in the parliament to come, on the future parliaments. You don't do things for yourself. You do things for posterity and for the nation. So they should be looking at that. Financing, political campaign financing is gone out of hand. It's gone out of hand. I mean, there's no control about how much you spend. You can be told, for example, that you can be told to give your accounts how much money you have, but people come and spend way, way, way beyond what they have.
All right. Now that we have Thursday upcoming, I wanted maybe us to be looking at our tea leaves and just get an analysis of what will be happening. We've talked about Mbere largely. Can we also look at Malava and Nyamira constituency? It seems also ODM is losing favor in the Kisii region as it stands right now, with the rising of the UPA, the United Progressive is it Alliance? Yes, Alliance. I'm trying to get the A there. So the fact that we have ODM has struggled to get a candidate on Nyasiongo, Nyamaya, also Ekerenyo, going to the UPA. People are saying this will be also a litmus test for your candidate in the Jubilee, that is Fred Matiang'i. The question is, how come ODM now is losing it in that particular region? And we've Jubilee and the United Opposition is trying to get that particular voting bloc. What can they do to master and bring out these voters from ODM?
Yeah, two things that are very prominent in that region. And one of them is actually the demise of Honorable Raila Odinga, because he held a very serious grip in that region. Actually, three things. So when you think about the Nyanza region without Raila, and the people that he has left, or the people that were left to take care of the ODM affairs, do not seem to be managing it very well. So that's a critical point that would actually result to that kind of a shift. Then, of course, you know, even before the late Honorable Raila Odinga left us, he had gone, or he had joined the broad-based government. And you could really tell that there are quite a number of his supporters from that region that were not agreeing with him, you know, in terms of joining the broad-based or not. So then that definitely would mean that some people are in ODM, and maybe a good number because of the mamas that are coming from not just the region but the entire country, because there's a lot of dissatisfaction in terms of has the government performs or not. And once when they join the broad-based government, then it means they are part of the government and they have actually declared so. But most importantly, and this is also not a very good thing, it's quite unfortunate that we are degenerating. We are going back to tribal and ethnic balkanization, and therefore the Kisii Nyanza people are now being seen more as, you know, Matiang'i people. The same way the Central Kenya people would be seen more as Rigathi Gachagua's people, or the eastern, the lower eastern people would be seen as the Kalonzo Musyoka people. It is very unfortunate because for me, after the 2022 general election, which was not really, Ruto was not voted in based on tribal lines. Let's truth be told. He came up, he created narrative that were sellable, and he convinced the people who voted for him that he was going to do things differently, he was going to transform the nation, the economy, and everything else. But right now, we are back to tribal politics, and therefore every tribal leader or kingpin, whatever we want to call them from various regions, want to lock their areas. And you can see how aggressive even my deputy party leader and all these other leaders have been in terms of locking and ensuring that nobody else should enter those regions. The problem with that is we are in a free state, and everybody should be allowed to walk freely, to campaign freely. I observed something else, by the way, and I'm not biased when I comment on these issues, especially as far as the Kisii region is concerned. There was, we are highlighting all the violence. We have talked about Mbere. I know we will talk about Kasipul, but there's also something else that happened in Kisii on Saturday. A group of people who were campaigning for the UPA candidate saw a group of campaigners from the other side, the UDA side, and they ran to them, they met somewhere, crashed badly, and they fought. You know, all these things, the intolerance, and it is because of the ethnic balkanization, number one, and the bile, the toxicity that we've been, the key leaders in both sides of the political divide, not just the official opposition, I mean, not just the united opposition, but also from government. There's been a lot of toxicity when it comes to the way the campaigns are being conducted. Like, for example, someone will say, hapa nitafunga, hapa ni kwangu, you know, watu wangu lazima, you know, that kind of talk, and, you know, almost threatening other people that they should not come and campaign in your region. It is something that is very wrong, because we are actually going back to, I actually thought that we had managed to separate ourselves from that kind of narratives, from those kind of ethnic balkanization and everything. But we are really going back to it, and it is quite unfortunate. Yeah.
All right. Do you think also it's an accurate appraisement of what Kathy is saying, especially with the demise of Raila Odinga, is where we can see Nyamaya, Ekeranyo, and Nyasiongo ward in Kisii, and at the time maybe Kisii region, losing favor with ODM? Because I think it was not, this was happening even before the demise of Raila Odinga. They were struggling to present candidates in these particular wards.
Yeah, there are a number of challenges that even before the late Raila Odinga passed on, there's a time when he went to the stadium and the stadium did not really receive him the way he has been received in that region for many years. And that was a statement partly to do with him gravitating towards the broad-based government, and perhaps also the entry of Dr. Fred Matiang'i into the race. And therefore, the local people realize that they have one of their own in contention, and they have to support him. And it's not in Kisii alone. In Ukambani, UDA was trying to avoid direct confrontation with Wiper by presenting through a chap-chap. In Mumbuni, I think Mumbuni North, there is an MCA position that arose out of the demise of the former MCA. And they presented UDA because there is nobody who is taking UDA in Ukambani today seriously. In fact, you've heard when the president was there for 3 days, he never mentioned the word UDA. He was only mentioning about the local leaders and he himself presenting the so-called Singapore situation, which has become actually a very boring statement to make. The second issue is that there are going to be shifts come the next general election. Areas which seem to have run away from the current regime, regardless of the results. That's why my preamble was the results may be an indication, but it is not the final test of the pudding, because there are a number of other things. Western province, the so-called, the former Western province, are shifted away. Ukambani is away. The mountain is away. Whether Mbere North will go either way, but it's away from the presidency. That's why that thing depicted the truth about Mount Kenya region. That yes, you are moving on a wheelbarrow, on a very narrow strip, and that strip seems, that thin thread seems to have some electric shock. So we are worried the governor may be electrocuted in the process of trying to cross the mountain with the president on the wheelbarrow. So Kenya is going to change dramatically because yes, it may not be entirely issue-oriented, which we will actually pray for, but the president will be going against his own promises, his own lies, and his own corruption-ridden government. Those are issues that will be confronting him in the next election, whether he's going to face whoever he is, whether it's Matiang'i, Kalonzo, Eugene, Karua, or any other person for that matter, he's going to face that. The final issue is the dynamics in ODM. ODM is not sitting pretty. It is likely to change in a way that the president may not harvest the way he would have harvested if he had stayed all through with Raila Odinga. ODM is a house on the rumble. It's rumbling. And after rumbling, it may create a lot of trouble for the president. So if you are to do prediction today, never put all your money on one side of the equation. Make sure that you are very careful, because the next 1 year is going to define a lot of things.
But saying that Western Kenya has shifted, and knowing from previous, trends that we've had with elections there, they are not wholesale, committed to one person. There's a lot of fragmentation that really happens there. Even when we saw the campaigning, just from this campaigning as well, there is a Bukusu region, there is Malava region there. People are fragmented. They cannot come and bring, one wholesale, one fell swoop of votes for you. We have still Wetangula with his and the Bukusu region also is a big one as well. So we cannot truly say that you've garnered Western region. They've never united
You know, with the risk of sounding like I'm a lawyer, because I've lived with them far too long, that I understand them. I understand a bit of the language and their social dynamics. The Bukusu nation will not vote for William Ruto in the next election, this time round. I can say that with a lot of authority, coming from Trans Nzoia, and Bungoma is our next county.
But what basis?
But the Luhya,
what basis are we using? What metrics are we using this?
I listen to them, and I'm a good listener. And I also do a bit of research, and I'm a good researcher. Now, the second issue is that the Luhya nation, they are so democratic that they have been misunderstood. In the year 2002, it's only Chris Okemo who survived the onslaught from NAC wave, because all the Luhyas, the late Wamalo was able to put them in one house called NAC, National Rainbow Coalition. This time round, that moment is coming back. And I'm so confident about it, because I'm sure I may still be analyst, because I'm not running for any office after the election. And I will have predicted to the letter that the Luhya nation, whatever William will do, will not be with the government.
All right, so what is the future of Musalia Mudavadi? Because I think also this is another short time for him to prove his mettle politically, whether he still holds sway among the constituents, you know, in Malaba, you know, the Maragoli region as it were, because also in his own constituency, he never garnered any numbers. So what does it portend for his future politically? Is it still pegged on President William Ruto? And if William Ruto is not there in 2027 moving forward, then it means also he's going down with Musalia Mudavadi.
Yeah, one of the biggest advantages of working with Mudavadi is loyalty. Loyalty to the extent that he was willing to fold his party and stay very close and loyal to the president. So he earned for himself.
So do you think he acted in the wisest of fashion, folding his party?
Well, that's what loyalty costs you.
Yeah. But I'm asking, do you think he acted wisely?
What is he now? He is the prime cabinet secretary of this republic.
So he had to pay the price.
And that's the cost. That's the cost of loyalty.
But you're not answering my question. Did he act wisely?
I would not be in his head to say that.
No, but you're assessing.
He definitely lost his members. He actually lost support from his members, and he's lost his party. And now, he's not going to be a principal in any arrangement because he has no party. So now, and I don't know whether he has become UDA. I don't know whether he went to UDA and formally changed himself. But you can work with Mudavadi because of his strong loyalty. Now, he's also not the kind of person that's going to engage in insulting people. He has got some kind of manners. He's got, it's actually, it's not going to pick up and insult you. Or use bad language. This is the kind of person that you would want to be with you. But now, when it comes to winning the elections and winning votes,
that's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, it's a thing altogether. But you need people with that kind of character next to you. You can trust. You can say, today I'm going to travel, I'll leave you here.
In the running of government.
and you'll be okay to run the government. However, I always gave Mudavadi the benefit of the doubt. I said, if we had a chance to become president, if he had a chance to become a president or had a deputy president to be responsible for Western, he would need to behave differently. Because that loyalty doesn't grant you now the power to rally the people, you see. Because there are people who will say to you, but you gave away your party, how can we trust you? And that's his issue right now. And so if he loses in Kabuchai, which he has been struggling, if he loses there, definitely, the only thing left for him will be the loyalty, to the president and to the government. But he's political, he's political. And I thought he would be the leader of all years. He should be he's the most senior. He should be able to say, I'm the one now who can make calls at this point. But Raila, who was from the neighboring community, took control of the same and was able to determine who was going to be the governor, who was going to be. So when Raila is not there, as at this moment, we've lost Raila, the Western Kenya, as we know it, is now free to split and divide as they were. Of course, you now realize that some fellows from his county, people like Natembea, people like Halwale, and those are the people now who are calling the shots in that place. And you begin to wonder what the seniority. Of course, the other person who is struggling also is Wetangula, trying to take charge of Bungoma and Trans Nzoia in his party, and it's not working. So you now have new people, younger people who are more forceful from Trans Nzoia and Bungoma. But Kakamega side as well, you got very strong young people coming up. So Western Kenya is going to change, it's going to transform. I think Western Kenya now will say to you guys who are in government, who are experienced in government, allow us to chart our own course. So I think there will be a difference in the way the Western Kenya goes. But I think I'll give it to Mheshimiwa Kirwa, who knows more about those people than myself.
They're my people.
But I wanted to come back to this point, and I know that our time is almost spent, is that it is good to have a dream, and the president has a dream. And the president is charting his course for the next message of the next election. You know, how he convinced all of us that we are going to be hustlers, and we bought the matter. He's now crafting something for himself in 2027. Yeah. So this thing about First World is not just a statement. It's a crafting of a message for the future. Now, whether we understand it or not, at least he has a dream. He says, I have this dream. You know, he quotes Jeff Kennedy about going to the moon. And so let's see. But for that to catch, you must move with your people. The entire nation must believe it.
But that's the question. Has he been speaking from the center to the periphery? He seems to have lost the people along the way. So even if you give this far-fetched dream about the Singapore dream, and still, just as Kipruto Arap Kirwa has raised the question that he has to face his own, confront his own lies. Yeah, this is what will be coming up. Did you deliver on this, what you promises? Did you deliver on universal health care? Did you deliver? Are people decrying the fact that they cannot access health as they used to before? These are things that actually will come to bear when it's trying to convince the populace.
How about if I raise a vision which surpasses all those things?
We gauge you with the vision that you had before, because we gauge you with the template that you gave us before you went to the, you go to the next election. Yeah. Have you delivered? It will have been much easier that, hey, yes, we can see you actually, you've taken us near Canaan. We are yet to cross that threshold to Canaan itself. Yes, now going to the Singapore dream. But if you've not delivered on these other issues that you promised before, then how should we trust you with the new vision that you have?
Yeah, and the discussion is starting from here. How many people understand what you're talking about in terms of Singapore? By the way, how many Kenyans know about Singapore? I mean, so it's a long shot of a dream, but he's got to have it and maintain it, because now it's even put money on it. He's put 5 trillion on it. And so it's just the money is going to be there, and hopefully these Kenyans can support that. That's the idea. So as we go, this is a discussion for the future. Yeah. Do we aim at the moon, or do we go step by step to reach there? And what are our subsequent steps that we need? Because, I mean, to get to the place where we become like a Singapore, first of all, Singapore is a smaller area. It's made up of a few communities. And it's
very strategic,
where it's positioned, and the money
ports are around it.
The finances are very guaranteed. They know where to find their money. But then there's a culture that must change as well. Our culture must change. Yeah, that goes with fast wildness. So anyway, that's a debate for the future.
But when we talk about even Singapore, briefly, looking at the time just briefly, what sort of leadership are we talking about? Kwan Yew was not really a democratic seminal figure when we're talking about Singapore. He was a man, his foot on the neck sort of management that he had. He was, could I say, very an authoritarian. Yeah, so are we talking about having such kind of muscle to push us to the Singapore dream?
Yeah.
And what does it portend for our democracy?
For us to achieve that which the president is talking about, it requires a lot of goodwill. It requires a lot of goodwill. And, you know, in our case specifically, we need someone who can give people direction. We need a president that can be trusted with what they say, you know, so that you don't say this thing, you don't say one thing on this side, and then the people immediately say, no, we have debunked this, and this is a lie. Because then even where maybe the president means well or intends to do it, the noise is too much. And because nobody seems to believe what he says. But for me, the key areas that can unlock our capacity economically and even create more jobs for our people is industrialization. We have to be intentional about certain things. The presidency and even the executive and everybody who seeks to lead the people must be very deliberate about these things, because we keep promising people, our young people, for example, that we are going to create jobs for you. Yes. How are you going to create jobs? You can only create jobs for the young people if you actually had a very serious, you know, move to industrialize the nation so that people get jobs. If we do not create a conducive environment for the people to help themselves, like Kibaki used to say, then what are we doing? You know, let me tell you something. I was looking at the Nation here, and 9 full pages of the Nation are adverts from auctioneers. What does that tell you? Our economy is collapsing because most people take their properties, their assets to the bank so that they can run or they can continue doing business. Businesses are are collapsing. People are leaving our country, going to other places, you know, where they think that the pastures are greener and they are able to do better business. So there's a problem and we must address it, because I believe if we economically transform this country, everybody will be able to make to have a livelihood. And all this noise, the mamas and everything, will be silenced. But then look at the conversation and the kind of conversation that we have here every Monday with my seniors and yourselves. We speak a language that the middle class and above, the people who've gone to school, understand, but we leave a very huge percentage of the community, of the society where we come from, and they don't understand it. That is why sloganeering. Do you see this thing of Singapore? This might be the next big thing that William Ruto will use in his campaign. And he just needs to go mashinani, meet 100, 1,000 people and say Singapore. What was Hustler? What was the Hustler narrative all about? What was the bottom-up narrative all about? So our people pick slogans very quickly. They run with them even without understanding what they mean. I mean, it's the same thing about the 2-term and the 1-term. So really, if the leadership of this country and ourselves, all of us who call ourselves leaders, are serious, we need to think about transformation. We need to stop the sloganeering and think about how we can make this country a better place.
Fantastic. I think time is ticking away from us. I'll be remiss if we don't also talk about what IEBC is trying to clear regarding the claims of rigging. And let's see what opposition had to say regarding rigging. Of course, they've been raising questions around the rigging of the by-elections, which is coming up on Thursday. Let's listen in.
United opposition leaders are escalating pressure on the IEBC, branding the November 27th mini-polls a make-or-break test of the Commission's integrity and future. Speaking in Ekerenyo in Nyamira County, Martha Karua led the charge, warning the IEBC against even the slightest irregularity. Karua also accused President Ruto's camp of attempting to belittle the Kisii community.
Hata kama ni Ruto amemtaja kwa niaba ya Wakenya. Kwa hizo ofisi zenu tunampima na hii uchaguzi mdogo. Mkifanya makosa yeyote tutamtuma nyumbani kabla ya wakati wenu.
Hatujatuma watu Baringo. Mbona unatuma watu hapa? Tutawafinya.
She further warned the president against dragging the country back into violence reminiscent of the Gen Z protests. The opposition convoy, featuring leaders including Senators Boni Khalwale, Richard Onyonka, Okongo Omogeni, and multiple MPs, held rallies across Nyansiongo, Ikonge, and Ekirenyo. Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya used the platform to defend himself after claims that he stage-managed the Kabuchai attack.
Let the government own up and admit that in Kenya we have a rogue speaker. A speaker who has gone rogue, ambaye ameamua badala kulinda sheria amekuwa mvunja sheria number 1. Na kama serikali ina deny the obvious, wale wanatuambia ni kwamba sisi kama wana Kenya pia sisi tujitetee. Hatutakubali tupigwe, mali yetu ivunjwe, na wala ambao wanatakana kutulinda sisi wana deny the obvious kwamba tukipigwa.
I want to urge you, yule wakisiwa kona wewe, shikana na George Natembeya. Huko kwetu tuko na Mudavadi na Wetangula. Mimi Khalwale na George Natembeya, we have buried them. Now they have resorted shooting at us.
Dr. Fred Matiang'i condemned the rising political violence, accusing government agencies of looking the other way. With just days to the polls, the by-elections have morphed into a battle for the Kisii political supremacy, pitting President Ruto's influence against a revitalized Matiang'i.
Kama kweli George Natembeya aliorganize hiyo maneno na wale watu ambao alienda kukomboa wakuje kumupiga yeye risasi, nani amewakataza wasiwakamate hao watu na walete hiyo risasi watuonyeshe haikuwa yao?
As campaigns intensify, all eyes now turn to the IEBC under mounting pressure to deliver a free, credible and peaceful mini-poll.
I'm flipping over to page 11 of the Star this morning. We have IEBC saying all systems go. We are ready for Thursday's mini polls. IEBC Chairman Erastus Ethekon has reaffirmed the Commission's readiness for Thursday's by-election, dismissing claims of plot to rig the mini polls in favor of certain candidates. A total of 181 candidates will contest various seats across 24 electoral areas in Thursday's polls. And we shall be, of course, beaming that for you wall to wall and wire to wire from wherever it will be happening as well. As we look into our closing remarks, I think we can also comment on this particular claims that is coming from the United Opposition of the rigging. Kipruto, very briefly.
Well, Debal, just allow me to say that Singapore reached where it did because there was issues of integrity. If William wants to improve on integrity, does not allow more of our taxes to be stolen, and much of the taxes to be used in development and recurrent, because currently almost 90 shillings for every revenue that we collect goes towards repaying the debt. 10 shillings is left to take care of the rest of the services provided by the government. That's why they have to do another borrowing to fill the gap. But when it comes to the issue of the by-election, I think it is useful for us to look at this as a very trying moment for the president. That's why he was in Kisii, I think, yesterday. And he told us what he has not accepted in the past, that his roots come from the Kisii, then Kipsigis, then born in Uasin Gishu and brought up in Uasin Gishu. That's why he talks Nandi, just like me and many other Nandis. So the issue is, he has realized that he is out of his depth when it comes to the next general election. And Kisii is slipping away. That's why yesterday he said his roots emanate from Kisii, despite the fact that he lives in Uasin Gishu. So he has confirmed to what we have always feared, that he is.
So, yeah, so everyone is claiming roots. We have the CP leader as well claiming roots in the Embu region. Yes, that's
and Meru.
And Meru as
his
well.
Mother is Meru.
He is a Marian.
He's a Marian, yeah.
Okay.
Mother. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, as we discuss these things, the matter of by-elections is a real, what do you call it, a crucible for the IEBC. If this new team of the IEBC can handle this by-election without incidents of violence and without rigging, then they create a trust that we can trust them for the general election. And I think because of my neighbor, Erastus, to think of his legacy now, not to be used by anybody, but to be able to stand strong and be able to administer these by-elections, which are very critical.
And lift IEBC from the rubble that it has been.
Yes. But also, as a country, there is a need for us to think beyond ourselves being, in a third world country, okay? Let's dream about it, but can now the academicians and all these other society members begin to discuss what we're talking about, rather than leaving it to politicians. The politicians can claim anything, but what is the roadmap for us to get there? We have a challenge for us to get out of where we are, get out of poverty, get out of tribalism, get out of corruption, that is actually the roadmap to if you want to go out of this mess that we have.
But the president has already challenged you. So yeah, even if you look at the academicians, he's already told you, you Kenyans, you average thinkers. Yeah. So can we just get out of this rut of average thinking?
but that will not take us anywhere, by the way. It will only be good if we start talking about it academically, but also bring in all the help that we can get to get ourselves out of here.
Thank you. Kathy?
So I think my closing remarks, number one, I went through the Waki report, after the post-election violence of the 2007, and strongly, no, it was the Kregra report, yeah. And it is strongly suggested that if we are going to avoid a repeat of the 2007 post-election violence, then we need to keenly look into issues of unemployment. If you look at the violence that we've talked about this morning and look at the people who have actually been used because they are being used, because in politics, we've been in politics long enough, young men will be given money to go and attack the other group. Do you know why they're being used like that? It's because of lack of jobs. It's because they don't have money. It's because they think a politician will give you 100 bob, 50 shillings to go and attack the other person. So we still not taking this matter seriously 20 years, almost 20 years down the line. And this is not a ticking time bomb, the way we used to call it a ticking time bomb. This is danger. And if we do not address this issue now, then anarchy is not very far from us. The last one is just to pass some regards to Honorable Kirwa Waziri. There's a friend of mine whom I schooled with at the university. He says that you paid his school fees and you bought him a soda when he was in class 5. His name is Otieno Kenyatta. You might need to look for him.
Thank you. I've done so many things, but I forget.
Generosity, which is good. You forget. Tenda mema nenda
zako.
Ulienda zako kweli tumeona.
Soda was very rare then.
It says that Kaimosi friends. Just like that.
Thank you. Kaimosi.
Thank you.
Yes.
Friend school Kaimosi. Yeah, friend school Kaimosi. I can see your roots now in that particular area, as you say. Yeah, you're getting famously there with the Luyas.
Yeah.
Which is good.
They are my people.
They're your people. Thank you. I really appreciate that cogent discussion we've had this morning. Very insightful, and we're eagerly waiting to see what will be happening on Thursday. If the analysis that you put on the table as well will really unfold to be true, reflection of where we're headed in 2027. Kevruto Arap Kiro, I really do appreciate your insight this morning. Thank you for coming through. Also, Samuel Pogisio, thank you for coming through as well. And Kathy Rongo, thank you. I really appreciate it. Right, and thank you for your valued company. You've been watching Money Cafe. Don't go away. Much more coming up on the other side of a break.